Why are men not approaching women in the church? Girl, we about to find out. We about to find out. Like, we about to find out today. Like, the Inside Out Singles is about to tell us, the men's edition, they're about to give us the tease as to why men don't approach women in the church.
Attractive, black, Christian women unmarried. That's the question that bothers me the most. It was not nagging me for so long. I go into church and see so many straight up fine sisters.
We can survive without a man. We do. All the time, all over the country. For years. We can survive without sexual intimacy. We can survive. We can make it, all right? But we're not satisfied, okay? I'm not gonna say happy, because the word happy is not in the Bible, the Torah, or the Quran, so it can't be that important. They've made it important to us because we spend money for happiness, all right? And we think it's everybody pick out what they want to have happiness, all right? But as I said, peace is the number one thing that creates happiness and allows all of the other things to grow and happen. But we're very lonely because of our men being so discouraged right now, okay?
If you know how to slide into my DMs, but you can't slide into the presence of God, you ain't my type. If your prayer life is as inconsistent as your texting game, you ain't my type.
I'm tired of my prayers not reaching God because this thick lady over here in this Shein outfit messing up my prayers. I keep looking. Y'all be too thick to be in the house of the Lord like this. Wear a long skirt. I'm trying to get my prayers up to God, and this is not what God wants for me. I'm trying to pray to God, and y'all so thick running by me in that offering table. I be like, tapping my homeboy, like, look, she's so thick. Oh my God. That's how I know my prayers ain't getting through. Some religions got it right when they put the women over there and the men over there. I get it, because you can't concentrate on God and prayer when this lady smell good and thick and she ain't got no panties on. You in the middle of prayer. You done got chubby a little bit. Your meat done jump like, oh, I see you. I don't need to be like this in church, God. Father, I can't concentrate when it's a thick lady that smell good next to me. I don't even care what her face look like. If she thick, I'm looking.
So a little over a year ago, I ended a relationship, and I was single again. And somebody told me these words. Next time you're dating again, wait on God's blessing. Wait on God to give you a way to that man. Of course, you're going to still be in a relationship with God, but it's different when you're married. He has to give away single you to a man. Okay? You wait on God. Yes. Just like your earthly father is gonna give you away at your wedding, your heavenly father. You better. Oh my God.
God bless the Christian women out here, many of them genuinely faithful and hopeful, believing that if they just stay prayed up and live right, their husband will eventually come. The harsh truth is, while some may find marriage, a lot of them never will. And here's the kicker, it's not just chance, it's by design. The church feeds them empty hope, while feminism convinces them they don't need a man until it's too late. Both systems played them, keeping them single, bitter, and waiting on something that may never happen. The sad reality is, they've been sold a lie from every angle.
If you are single, hear me out, you might think to yourself, like, what does this person do to make them more worthy of having a relationship? Or what do I have to do to get in a relationship? I'm also single, so let me just tell you what I've learned and what people have taught me, and you're gonna hate hearing it. You don't have to do anything. And that's the beautiful part about God's plan, is that when you fully surrender your own plans, your own timeline, everything you thought your life would look like to the Lord, He will turn it around for good, and it'll be better than you ever thought. And you could sit there and think, well, I don't know, like my life was, life's not supposed to be perfect, and life isn't supposed to look the way that you thought it would look. So why would you even try to make it look a certain way if you know that you can't do that, because that's not God's plan? And if you do try to make it your way, and that's manifesting, whatever they call it now, yeah, it's not better off. Your life doesn't get better. You'll see it once you start making your own reality come to life. You'll realize that you're manipulating God's plan and what he created for you, and it actually brings you to a place where you actually shouldn't have been in the first place. I used to do that. I used to create my own life. I used to want my own plan, and everything started turning out the way I wanted, and it actually did me so dirty. Like, I won't get into that. But you don't want the plan that you think you want. And so why would you try to force things that aren't meant to happen for you right now? I'm not saying you'll never get married. I'm not saying you'll never find a man or a wife or anything. But you know that God's plan is the best. Why are we not just so confident in that? Be confident in God's plan and know that you don't have to do anything extra or added that will add to, you know what I'm saying?
You can say all you want about faith, God's plan, and waiting on the right man, but the truth is men are checking out. They don't want drama, they don't want headaches, and they're tired of being tested. The minute a good man finally gives a woman a chance, her inner chaos comes out. Entitlement, control, or insecurity. That's why so many men would rather stay single than gamble on someone who swears she's ready, but can't even hold it together when she actually gets what she prayed for.
This video right here is for the women who are praying for or looking for godly men. If that is not you, you can keep on moving. You're not ready for a godly man. And I say this with lots of love. I say it out of love. You are not ready for a godly man. You know how I know this? Because of how you act, because of how you think, because of how you talk. If you're someone who is trying to still fight and argue and do the whole unstable emotionally and mentally thing, you're not ready for a godly man, because let me tell you what, he is going to shut that down so quick. But let me just tell you this right here. In order for you to be ready for a godly man, you need to tighten up. You need to tighten up, okay? Because this man is not going to come at you wanting to fight. This man is going to come at you wanting to solve. This man is not going to come at you wanting from you. He's going to come at you giving, okay? He's not going to expect. He is going to provide. It's a crazy concept. It's crazy, but you need to be mentally prepared and emotionally prepared to be with a man like that. Because when you and I are unstable, trying to get in a relationship with a man like that, we're going to mess it up. We're going to mess it up in the worst kind of ways. I know this because it was almost me. However, I have prayed over this man for years. I have wanted to be with a godly man for years, and he didn't look like what I thought he was going to look like. And I don't mean physically. I just meant the picture, the idea of this man didn't look the way that I thought it was going to look. So at first I was skeptical. I was hesitant. I was hurt, jaded, wounded. And she was trying to push that on this man. This man did not allow that to happen. So let me just tell you this. Before you mess this up, because you are wanting this godly man so bad, fix yourself first. Focus on yourself. When you focus on yourself and you are working on you, then God opens doors. Then God presents the opportunities. Stop looking for it. You're so focused on wanting this thing so badly that you are neglecting the things that you need to work on in yourself. So work on yourself first. Put God first. Let everything else be. Let everything else be. Okay?
This is spot on. Modern women aren't ready for this, no matter how much they say they are. Everybody wants the idea of a godly man, but very few are willing to drop the drama, entitlement, and emotional instability that ruin relationships. A man who provides, protects, and leads isn't going to fight with you. He's going to walk away. And until women stop pretending and actually put in the work themselves, they'll never be ready for the type of man they keep praying for.
We need to talk, Christian women. You want to get married. You don't want to be single forever. You're waiting for a godly man. But some of you have Hallmark standards. Do you know how many men are mentioned in the Bible? I don't know exact number, but thousands. And out of all of those thousands of men, do you know how many of them were mentioned to be Hallmark handsome? 9. Now of those 9, how many of them were actually godly? 5.5. I say 5.5 because Solomon, well, we know how he was with the concubines. And we all know what happened to David, even though God still called him a man after his own heart. The others is Shadrach, Meshach, Abednego, and Daniel. Oh, and then Joseph. Pero that's it. So some of you are waiting for this 6'2" man, getting all this money, and he's super godly. In real life, how many of those Hallmark men are actually Christian? Most likely 0 out of 10, but why don't we just say 1 out of 10? Now, don't get it twisted. I was attracted to my husband, pero he's 5'7". And let me tell you, he's so wonderful. Imagine if I said, ay, pero you know what? Ay, he's so sweet, he's so cuddly, pero ay, he's too short. I wouldn't be having my 6th child with him. Un casita. Pero even more than that, he loved me unconditionally. He there for me. Trust me, I hear all the drama, okay? Con esta niña over here y esta niña over here con tu esposo. Ay, and I thank God that I got me a godly man. Anyway, just check your heart, okay? Because if your standard is over here, maybe there's like a little root of pride or un poquito delusional. Because I'm telling you, them Hallmark movies are not reality. Those 6-foot, godly, wealthy Christian men are few and far in between. Okay, that's my advice for today. Bye.
So basically she's saying what none of y'all want to admit. Your Hallmark fantasy man doesn't exist. 6-foot, rich, godly, flawless dudes aren't lining up to wife anybody. And the delusion is wild. Reality check. Most of you pass up good men because they don't fit your dream checklist, then cry later about being single. Translation? Lower your standards, because your man of God ain't coming in a Hollywood package.
We're single Christian girls. Every time we see a cute guy at our church, we're gonna check if he has a ring on his finger.
We're single Christian girls. We're gonna pray for our future husband several times a week, even though he has no idea we exist.
We're single Christian girls. We don't have boyfriends, so we're gonna live vicariously through all of our friends who are getting engaged like every other month.
We're single Christian girls. At least 3 older women from our church have tried to set us up with their grandson.
We're single Christian girls. We're gonna make a husband list and probably edit it every few months.
We're single Christian girls. We're waiting on God's timing, but sometimes ask if he has expedited shipping.
We're single Christian girls. We're gonna overuse the phrase season of singleness, but it's true. It's only for a season. Right, God?
Oh, this one writes itself. You all keep talking about waiting on God's diamond, but when he finally does send a man, he's not 6'2". He's not making 6 figures. And suddenly, God's plan doesn't feel holy enough anymore. Funny how faith always seems to shrink the moment reality walks in under 5'10" with an average salary.
Girls, if you've been seeking your husband, your man of God, and you've been praying to God like, oh, where am I going to find him? Read Proverbs 18:22 with me, okay? If you're my friend, you've probably heard me say this before, but it says, he who finds a wife finds a good thing and obtains favor from the Lord. Notice how it says, he who finds a wife, not she who finds a husband. Because biblically, women were made to be pursued, okay? Stop searching every single place that you can to find your future husband and being the one to initiate everything. Like, allow yourself to be pursued as God designed. Wait on the Lord. Be patient in this season. Understand that he's probably using this season to prepare you and to prepare your future husband for a beautiful season of marriage. But it's just not right now. So just relax. Trust the Lord.
Here's another one sugarcoating it for the girlies, telling them to just wait and be pursued instead of giving a real reality check about actually behaving like a godly woman. Truth is, prayer without accountability, humility, and discipline means nothing. But videos like this keep women comfortable in delusion instead of preparing them for the man they claim to want.
I say marry for convenience. If nobody has ever told you this, I am telling you today, marry for convenience. This video is for the ladies. If you are not a lady, scroll. Marry for convenience, because men marry for convenience, you know. Don't marry engathi nje bakuthwale emlanjeni, you know. Marry for convenience. Whether it's convenience for your future children, whether it's convenience for your own life, marry for convenience, because men are very, very, very calculated and crafty when they are taking you to be a wife. You know, they look at convenience also. I don't understand why women, you know, they don't think about that. Yes, if you're in your 20s, marry for love. But if you are in your 40s, if you are Emma Grizzler and you are over 35, there's no need for you to be marrying just only for love. Marry for love, yes, but marry for convenience, you know. Find convenience also in the marriage. Find something that's going to create convenience for your life in the marriage. baningi abantu abashadela uthando, guys, and hayibo, it's not enough. You know, marry for convenience. You know, where find a way that is also going to bring convenience when you get married.
This right here is exactly why men are checking out and choosing to stay single. Imagine wanting marriage for true companionship, loyalty, and peace, only to end up with a woman whose entire perspective is marry for convenience. God forbid you give your all, only to realize she was just calculating what she could gain instead of actually loving you. Thanks for watching Manhood. If you want access to exclusive episodes and want to support the channel, hit that join button and become a member. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video if it hit home. Drop your stories and thoughts in the comments. We read everyone. See you tomorrow.